Yeah, good evening, Varanda. Can you hear me? Anyone respond in chat box? Yeah, okay, fine. Uh, we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes because still somebody joining. Okay, after that we'll start the session. Okay, we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. After that we'll start the session. Okay, now we'll start the session. Good evening, one and all. Good evening, one and all. Yesterday we discussed sampling distribution and problems on that one. Okay, I hope all of you remember that formulas. How to find mean of sampling distribution of means and how to find population mean and variance and so on. How to find population correction factor. All the formulas you remember, right? Now today is the practice session because yesterday we discussed concept and we discussed some problems. Okay. Today is the practice session. Okay. Now we'll discuss some more problems on that one. Yeah, once all of you see, this is the first problem. All of you note on this question. Okay. The problem is, just a minute. Yeah, all of you note on the first problem. Find the value of finite population correction factor. Finite population correction factor for n small n is equals to 10 and capital N is equals to 100. Okay. The small of you try to find this one because already we know formulas and we discussed how to find population correction factor. Today is the practice session. All of you solve this problem. Yes, everyone, all of you note down this question and solve that one. I will give 2 minutes time. All of you solve that problem. Yeah, tell me what is the correction factor? Yeah, very good, Mo. What is the correction factor? Yeah, very good, very good. What is the correction factor formula? Capital N. Anybody remember? Capital N minus small n by, yeah, capital N minus 1. This is the population correction factor. In the question, they given capital N and small n. This is a short question. Just you have to remember that formula and substitute what are the given values. What are the given values? Yes, my good. That is the right answer. Okay. This is the population correction factor. Okay. Now all of you see that one. Now first we have to write down what is the given data. This is the solution. Okay. Given that, just a minute. Given that capital N and small n. Just substitute the two values in that one. Yeah, 1 sec. Somebody got 0.90. Yeah, here 0. Yeah, 1 sec. All of you. You got the same thing? 0.99 or 90? Yeah, okay, fine. 0.991. That's okay. I hope all of you done this one. How to find population correction factor. Population correction factor. Yeah, 90 by 99. Very good. Yes, all of you done? Okay. Shall I move to next problem? Yeah. All of you see the second one. The next problem. Okay. All of you see the second problem. Let S contain 4 elements 1, 5, 6, 8. 1, 5, 6, 8. Find the probability distribution of okay, probability distribution of the sample mean for random sample of size 2 drawn without replacement. Yeah, without replacement. Without replacement. That's very one. How to find this one? Yeah, this is the popular funds. All of you go through that question. Okay, what is the S? We have to consider S as population. Okay, S as, just a minute, S as population. Okay, as all of you see that one. S as a population. Okay, yesterday we discussed this type of model, right? Here they're asking mean of sampling distribution of means. Okay, without replacement of the sample size 2, of the sample size 2. Okay, all of you see that solution. Once all of you try to find that one. Okay, this is a population. Okay, that is the population. S is population. Okay, the small of you try to find this one. The population contains 4 elements. Capital N is equals to 4, right? Capital N is equals to 4. And random sample size is 2. We are selecting the random sample of size 2 without replacement. Without replacement, we know the formula. Okay, the number of possible random samples. That is, anybody remember that formula? Yes, ma'am. Without replacement, the number of possible random samples. Yesterday we discussed. Yeah, anyone remember that one? Yeah. NCN, capital N, C, small n. That is, capital N is 4, C 2. Okay, all of you know how to find that one. The value is 6. Total, we can get 6 random samples. Okay, 6 random samples. 6 random samples we can get. Okay, first write down what are the 6 random samples. After that, we have to find mean of each random sample. Mean of each random sample. Okay, all of you check. The first random sample is 1, 5, and the second random sample is 1, 6. The third random sample is 1, 8. And the next random sample, fourth random sample is 5, 6. Fifth one is 5, 8. And sixth one is 6, 8. Total 6 random samples are there. Now for these 6 random samples, we have to find mean. Yeah, first all of you find out the first random sample mean. This is the first random sample. Already we discussed how to find the mean. Okay, 5 plus 1 by number of elements 2. Okay, 6 by 2, 3. This is the x1 bar. And similarly, from second random sample, we have to find the mean. Okay, the second random sample contains 2 elements, 1 and 6. Okay, we have to find the mean, that is 1 plus 6 by 2, 3.5. This is the second random sample mean, x bar. Okay, and third random sample contain elements 1, 8, 1, 8. Okay, now from that one you can find out the third random sample mean, that is x3 bar. The third random sample mean, x3 bar is equals to 4.5. And the fourth random sample mean is x4 bar, that is equals to 5.5. Let's all of you check. You are getting same thing or not? Yes, now everyone should maintain notes. Okay. And after that, similarly, you can find out the fifth random sample mean. Okay. This is the fifth random sample that contain elements 5 and 8. The mean is 5 plus 8 by 2. 13 by 2, 6.5 is the fifth random sample mean. And next, similarly, you can find the sixth random sample mean, that is x6 bar. That value is 7. Now total we have 6 values, 6 means. 6 means. Okay. 6 means are there. Now, what is the question here? We have to find the mean of sampling distribution of mean. Mean of sampling distribution of means. For that, the notation is mu suffix x bar. Mu suffix x bar. We know 6 random sample means. For these values, again we have to find out the mean. Just we have to add all values of this one, then divided by total number of values. Total 6 values are there. All of you check. You're getting same thing or not? All of you add these 6 means and divided by 6. So once all of you check, you're getting 5 or not. The mean of sampling distribution of means. Sampling distribution of means. That is denoted by mu suffix x. Mu suffix x. I think all of you done. So once all of you check, the mean is 5 or not. 5, right? Yeah, after that, we have to find the variance. We have to find the variance. Okay? We have to find the variance. As anybody remember the formula, variance formula? How to find? Yeah, see here, for small samples, the variance formula is, okay, variance of, here, x bar. That is summation I is equals to 1 to n, okay, xi minus x bar whole square by n minus 1. N minus 1. This is the formula for finding variance for small samples. Okay, for small samples. Just a minute. Now we have to use that formula. Now we can find. Already we know the mean of sampling distribution of means. Mean of sampling distribution of means. See here. All of you use that formula. Okay, you can find out that one. Yeah, here how many values are there? Total 6. Summation I is equals to 1 to n xi bar minus mu suffix x bar whole square by n minus 1. Okay, first all of you find out that one. This is denoted by summation suffix x bar whole square. First all of you find out this one. After that we can get sigma. As all of you see, this is the formula. variance of sampling distribution of means. Okay. Now, when you're expanding that one, you can get that one. See here. Summation, the first value is 3 minus 5. Mean is 5 whole square by whole square plus 3.5 minus 5 whole square plus 4.5 minus 5 whole square plus so on plus 7 minus 5 whole square by n minus 1. N value is 6. 6 minus 1, 5. First, all of you find out that one. After that, you can take square root. As all of you simplify, then tell me what is the variance of sampling distribution of means. Yeah, all of you find out that value. Yes, tell me this value. Yes, but today is the practice session. All of you practice the problems. Yeah, sigma value is 1.62. I'm asking that one. Sigma square variance. Okay, directly can find out. You can use this one also, no problem. Directly can get sigma suffix x bar, that is equals to sigma. Yeah. Once all of you check. Yeah, all of you got the same thing? So all of you check. The standard deviation of sampling distribution of means. Okay, over. Shall I move to next one? Yeah, all of you see the second one. Next problem. Yeah, all of you see this one. The third problem. Yeah. Yeah, you can use that formula. Somebody asking some doubt, Anil. Yeah, we'll show that one. When we'll use that one, that formula, if population standard deviation is known, this one is known. Okay, that is known. Okay, sampling standard deviation of sampling distribution of means. The notation is sigma x bar. In such case, directly can use sigma by root n. If this is known, directly can use that one. Clear? This topic is depending on formulas only. If you know formulas, easily can do the problems. Here we don't know variance. For this one sigma, we don't know. Standard deviation of population, we don't know. Directly we are finding that one by using the sample data. That's not clear this point? Yes, Anil. Yeah, yesterday we discussed there is a difference is there. Here we don't know population standard deviation. That's why we are using like this. We're finding standard deviation of sampling distribution. If you know sigma, directly can use this one. Population standard deviation is known, directly can use this formula for finding standard deviation of sampling distribution of means. See here, there is a difference is there between these two notations. Sigma suffix x bar and sigma. This is the population standard deviation. Okay, population standard deviation, and this one is standard deviation of sampling distribution of means. Sampling distribution of means. There is a difference between these two notations. Don't get any confusion. Okay. For finding this, if you know sigma, directly can use this formula. Otherwise, go through this one. Otherwise, go through that formula. Is my clear? All of you understood the difference between the two formulas? When we'll use this one and when we'll use that one. Yeah, yesterday we discussed one problem. In the question, they asked to find population mean and variance. That's why in the previous problem, directly we used sigma, the second formula. This one we used yesterday. But here, in the question, they are not asking population mean and variance. Directly they are asking mean of sampling distribution of means and variance of sampling distribution of means. That's why I use these two formulas. That is the difference. Okay. Is that clear? When we'll use the two formulas? Anil. It's okay. We'll move to next one. Let's all of you note down the next problem. Okay. A random sample of size 100 taken from an infinite population having mean mu is equal to 76 and the variance sigma square is equal to 256. What is the probability that x bar will be between 75 and 78? This type of model we discussed in previous class. Yeah, here x bar is there. Yeah, Anil, I didn't get. In previous problem, you're asking doubt. Yeah, Anil. In previous problem, okay, I will show that one. See here, standard deviation of sampling distribution of means. Sampling distribution of means. That we have to find out actually. That means here, before going to that one, first we have to know variance. If you know variance, then only you can find standard deviation. That's why I'm using the variance formula. I'm using the variance formula. This one. Okay. This means variance of sampling distribution of means. If you know variance, then you can find out standard deviation. Otherwise, directly can use. Yeah, that is. Yesterday I explained the concept. By using the random sample data, we are estimating population parameters. We are estimating the population parameters. Here, I'm using the random sample means. That's why that is called sampling distribution of means. Okay. I hope now it is clear. Now all of you do this one. As First, all of you note down this question and try to solve this one. Yeah, anyone guess how to solve this problem? This type of model also we discussed already. Today is a practice session. All of you practice these problems. Yeah, very good, ma. By using central limit theorem. Very good. Okay. By using central limit theorem. Yes, very good. I will give 5 minutes time. All of you try to find this one. Yes, all of you do it on this one. We have to solve this problem by using the central limit theorem. As all of you solve that one. All of you use central limit theorem and solve this problem. Yeah, first write down what is the given data. Okay, after that, we have to use the central limit theorem. We have to convert into normal variate z equals to, yeah, do you remember that one? How to convert into normal variate or normal variable? Z is equals to x bar minus mu by sigma by root n. Yeah, what is that value? Final value or z1 or z2? Yeah, total final probability value. Okay, we'll check. What is the z1? What is the z1? Minus 0.625. Right? We'll check that is right or wrong. Yeah, first all of you see, we have to write the given data. As this is the given data. Okay. N is equals to 100 and mu is equals to 76. Sigma square is equals to 256 and sigma is 16. Yeah, we have to convert it directly. The question is here. Once all of you see what they're asking. The question is here. We have to find probability of 75 less than or equals to x bar less than or equals to 78. There is a question. We have to find this value, but directly we can't find this one. For finding this one, we have to use the central limit theorem. Central limit theorem we have to use. We have to convert into z variable. This is the relation. Okay. Yeah, all of you see here. When x1 bar equals to 75, substitute in that formula, we can get z1. Yeah, very good, Mo. Z1 is, just substitute x1 bar, mu and sigma and n. After simplifying that one, you can get z1 is minus 0.625. Z1 is minus 0.625. Now after that, we have to find Z2. Okay. In the same formula, substitute x2 bar. X2 bar is 78. Yeah, 1 to 5. Very good, mom. Z2 is equals to x2 bar minus mu by sigma by root n. After simplifying this one, you can get Z2. Z2. Therefore, the probability is actual probability is probability of 75 less than or equals to x bar less than or equals to 78. This is reduced to, okay, that is equals to probability of Z1 less than or equals to Z less than or equals to Z2. We know Z1 and Z2. Probability of Z1, that is minus 0.625 less than or equals to Z less than or equals to Z2. Z2 value is 1.25. How to get this probability? By using normal distribution table. By normal distribution table. Distribution table. Okay. And before that one, just draw the graph. You can understood which area we require. The normal curve is bell-shaped curve. It is symmetric about the main. Okay. This is z equals to 0. And the right side values are positive values, left side are negative values. See here, this terminology, the terminology, z is lies between these 2 points. This is lies between this point and this one. One is negative. Negative means left to the this point. The point is somewhere here, minus 0.625. Okay, and the second point is 1.25. That is positive somewhere here, 1.25. See, z is lies between these 2 points. That means the required area is this shaded area. We have to find this area. Okay, by using normal distribution table, you can get the area under the curve up to the point. Okay, first we have to find out area up to this point minus area up to this point. You can get the shaded area. By using normal distribution table, you can find out like this one. Some p of, or sometimes that can be written as f of. Okay, what is the notation you used? I don't know in previous. To find. This means area under the curve up to this point. Up to this point. Okay, I'll show the graph table how to get. As who is that guy? As for regular students already that is over. This is the only revision. Okay. Yeah, all of you see that one. Okay. Now I'll show the graph. See, first we have to find probability of 1.25, right? Z is positive. We have to use the positive values table. See this one. Where is the 1.2? 1.2 is here. Okay. And the next digit is 5. So in this column, we have to see 1.25. Yeah, the intersection value is this one. Okay. 0.89435. Yeah, very good, mom. 0.89435. 435. All of you know done. P of, I will write here, P of 1.25 is 0.89, just will check, 89435, 89435. And next we have to find probability of minus 0.625. 625. All of you see here, minus 0.6. Yeah, that is somewhere here. Yeah, just a minute. 0.6. And the next digit is 2. Yeah, in this column, we have to see the corresponding value. Yeah, see here, 0.2676. 0.2676. This value is 0.2676. Let's first subtract that one. The actual probability is that one. All of you subtract that one, then you can get the required probability. Yes. How much? Subtract these two. Yeah, once all of you check, you are getting same thing or not. I think that value is 0.627 or 8, right? Okay, that is the required probability. Now we'll start the next one. Yeah, all of you see this problem. Yeah, once all of you go through this question. Yeah, okay. Okay, Anil, one sec. The value is, see here, 0.628 or 6278. That is also right. Very good. Your answer is also right, ma'am. Okay. Now all of you see this question. This problem. Yeah, what is the effect on standard error? Okay, what is the effect on standard error if a sample is taken from an infinite population of a sample size increased from 400 to 600? Yeah, once all of you go through that question. Yeah, we know that. What is the standard error formula? Yeah, anyone respond in chat box? The standard error formula. Yes, for anyone. Yeah, anyone respond in chat box? The standard error formula. That is sigma by root n. This is the standard error. Okay. Here they give a different sample size. N1 is equals to 400 and N2 is equals to 900. Okay. Initially the sample size is 400, that is increased to 900. Okay. Just substitute in that one. Then we have to observe the relation between the two standard errors. Okay. Now all of you see that one. All of you see that solution. The sample is taken from an infinite population. So standard error is sigma by root n. Sigma by root n. N1 we know that initially the sample size is 400. Standard error is sigma by root 400, that is sigma by 20. We assumed that equation as 1. Okay, similarly, in the same formula, substitute the second random sample size. If the sample size is 900, then the standard error is sigma by root 900, that is sigma by 30. Assume that equation as 2. Now, all of you observe equation 1 and 2. Now, we have to find the relation between them. See, the first equation is sigma by 20. And second equation is sigma by 30. Sigma by 30. See, the relation is this one. We have to multiply 2 by 3 into the first random standard error. That is equals to the second standard error. This is the relation between that one. If the random sample size is increased to 400, just we have to substitute the random samples in that formula and find the relation. That's it. Okay. And all of you see the next problem. Yeah, all of you see this one. All of you note down this question problem. Same model. When a sample is taken from an infinite population, what happened to standard error of the mean if sample is decreased from 800 to 200? In the previous question, the sample size is increased. Here, decreased. But the concept is same thing. We know standard error formula. In that one, we have to substitute both sample size and find the relation between them. Yes, all of you do it now this one. Yes, all of you do it now this one. You're done. Yes, all of you done. Once all of you see that solution part. Yeah, double exactly. Exactly. Very good, mom. See here. Just a minute. Yeah, same thing, same model, only the values are different. The standard error of mean is sigma by root n. The sample size initially that is 800. The standard error formula is sigma by root n. In this one, we have to substitute 800. That is sigma by 20 root 2. 20 root 2. After that, the sample size is reduced to 200. N2 is 200. The same formula in standard error formula, we have to substitute n, sigma by root n, sigma by root 200. That is sigma by 10 root 2. Now assume that equation as 2. Now observe equation 1 and 2. Okay. See, 2 into sigma by 20 root 2 equals to sigma by 10 root 2. Yeah, exactly. Very good, mom. Now all of you see the next one. Just all of you go through that question and try to solve. I think this problem yesterday we discussed, right? Yes, I think this is the same problem yesterday we discussed. Yeah, just go through that one and try to understand that one. If still you have any doubts, we'll discuss now. Yeah, for this one, we have to use the central limit theorem. Okay. We have to use the central limit theorem. As per these are the problems, I hope all of you understood the sampling distribution. As once all of you see that one, yesterday we discussed this question, but once all of you see that one, we have to convert into z variable. All of you see that solution part. By using central limit theorem, you can find out that probability. Is Smoker clear? Now I hope all of you understood that one, the sampling distribution concept. Still you have any doubts, we'll discuss now. Yeah, by using random sample data, we are estimating the population parameters mu and sigma. That is called sampling distribution. When you are using random sample means and finding population parameters mu and sigma, that is called sampling distribution of means. When you are using random sample variances and finding population parameters, that is called sampling distribution of variances. Okay. It's okay. Still you have any doubts, you can ask. We'll discuss now in sampling distribution. Yeah, today we have quiz after 5:30, sorry, 5:20. 2-3 minutes are there. By 5:20, we'll start the quiz. As for daily, we have quiz. Okay. As quiz is there. And tomorrow we'll start the T distribution. Okay, today is the only practice session. Tomorrow we'll start the next topic, T distribution.